All I'm saying is I've been getting a lot of bar fights because I don't think... You can't tell me you love the First Amendment and tell me I can't criticize the troops, because I'm going to stand here as an American also and tell you I don't think Navy SEALs should be ticklish and... And there's always some guy with like a grunt-style t-shirt at the other end of the bar like, why not? It's endearing. No, it's a weakness. And it shouldn't be tolerated. You're telling me these are the best of the best and all it's gonna take is a big feather to get them to spill the beans? It's unacceptable, unacceptable. Navy SEALs shouldn't be ticklish, and also, you shouldn't qualify for the CIA if you've ever fallen for a surprise party. That should just be the test. That should be one of the tests. Oh, I thought we were just going to Nana's house. Yeah, on your birthday! If everybody yells surprise and you're like, I had no idea, then the surprise is you need to find a new career. I will say this, politically speaking, I will say this. I think that the last 8 years in this country has really ruined the president's been kidnapped genre of action movie. I will say that it has deflated my enthusiasm. Man, that was a fun movie 10 years ago. That was fun. Oh, you'd go right to the cinema on Friday. The president's been kidnapped. Oh no, who's gonna save him? Channing Tatum? I hope his shirt doesn't come off. We were excited for those. You can't make that movie now. That movie does not have the steam it once held. The president's been kidnapped. Well, yeah, I mean... It's not good out there. People aren't happy, man. Inflation's out of control. Well, what are the kidnappers asking for? Healthcare? Yeah. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I'll watch it, but I'm not rooting for who you want me to root for. Oh, they saved him? Okay, that's cool. Why are my premiums still through the roof? I'm not going to the sequel, I'll tell you that.
Learning a lot. Being a California girl living in the South, because it's different here. I've learned when I go to a restaurant, if I order an iced tea, it automatically comes with 3 pounds of sugar in it. Y'all call that sweet tea. We call it diabetes. Learning a lot. Very simple things, like when I'm in Los Angeles, if I go to a store and they're like, can I help you find anything? I'm like, I'm okay. And if I'm feeling really friendly that day, I'm like, I'm okay, thanks. That's it. That's where it ends. Then I got to Nashville. I'm at TJ Maxx one day. I can hear the ladies in the row next to me. Can I help you find anything? I'm all right, but thank you so much for asking. It's my pleasure. It's a beautiful day outside. Yes, it is, but they say it's gonna rain about 3 o'clock. Make sure you get home before the traffic is gonna be a mess. Bless your heart. I was like, ooh, I don't know if I have energy for the South. I don't know how to do it. Like, who stops talking first? Then I look around the corner and neither one of them even worked there. And then somebody told me this. They were like, hey, when people say bless your heart, they can mean it in a good way or a bad way. And I was like, what? Like, how you do a bad bless? And they're like, no, trust me, sometimes that's not what they mean. So now, anytime somebody tells me bless your heart, just to be safe, I reply with, bless your heart. Yeah, I wish you would bless my heart. Bless it again, go ahead. It's kind of like the old fighting words at church. I'ma pray for you. Oh, that's funny, because I'm already praying for you. Yeah, you been on my prayer wall. About to lay hands on you too, say I won't.
And it's really exciting to be able to tell this joke where people understand what a garage refrigerator is. It's wonderful, okay? Because I live in Los Angeles right now. And when I talk about having a garage refrigerator to a Los Angeles audience, all they hear is 2 refrigerators. Someone must have grown up a billionaire. And I have to correct them. I'm like, oh no, you don't understand what a garage refrigerator means for most of the United States. A garage refrigerator simply means you finally got a new refrigerator. And then you said, don't throw the broken one away. That's for weird shit now. That's for things that should get cold, but if they don't, that's still okay. That's for things we don't want around the everyday milk and eggs, you know? That's for more loose deer meat in a Ziploc. That's what we're gonna put out in the garage refrigerator. Stuff from your neighbor, that goes in the garage refrigerator. You know what I mean? Your neighbor Jerry shows up, he's like, you want any of this meat? That I shot him. Like, you wrecked your car, Jerry, you hit that meat, I know that. That's hit meat. I'll take it though, thank you so much. I know your processing plant, they do a great job, all right. I'm gonna put it out with the hot beer. I thought I was really rich growing up. I really did. I thought we were very rich. It doesn't take a lot to feel rich when you grow up in a meth town. It doesn't. Like, my dad sold cars and my mom was a babysitter, and I was like, I get why we're Republican. Keep the government out of this combined annual income of $55,000 for a family of 5. That's our Ford Taurus we share, not the government. You find out how poor you actually grew up with how late in your life you learn Red Lobster's not a fancy restaurant. And somebody didn't laugh and you're still poor, and that's okay. You have a goal now, that's exciting. Next time you pop down to Seattle, give it a shot. You can afford it, I promise. We think it's great, but it's the Applebee's of the sea. That's what it is. I didn't know Red Lobster wasn't fancy until I was 37. And I'm 37. It was months ago. It was this summer it happened, okay? I was in New York City with my friends. We were in Times Square and we were walking. There's a 3-story Red Lobster. I was like, whoa! And I took my phone out. I started taking photos of a Red Lobster because it was 3 stories. I was like, oh, nobody's gonna believe this. Nobody back home is gonna believe that I saw a 3-star Red Lobster. That must be the mother, you know, like. And my friends are like, you love Red Lobster? I was like, oh, I love Red Lobster. Like, let's go. And I'm like, we wish. Someday. And they're like, no, for real, let's just go. I was like, no, for real, I got shorts on. We're not getting in. That's a khakis only establishment, all right? Someone's grandpa in town gonna pay for that? That joke hit. You love when you're doing a stand-up special and one person in the crowd laughs. That's what you're going for. I connected with one guy, and we filmed this, and we flew the whole crew to Alaska. That's what we was trying to get, baby! One guy.
So now I live in Brooklyn, and yeah, I like it. Yeah, I know lots of Brooklyn people. So neighborhood's great. However, 3 months ago there was a shooting on our street. Nobody got hurt, but here's what happened. Someone came by in the middle of the night and shot 3 shots in 3 consecutive doorways. Boom, boom, boom. And just to give you an idea of the street, if they would have kept going, the next doorway would be a yoga studio. All right? So the yoga ladies went insane. They were like, this place has bad vibes! They were mad. And then the real estate agents were like, how are we gonna sell these apartments for millions of dollars now? And then the families were like, is this a safe place for our children? And everyone wanted to know what the shooter looked like. That's all they cared about. They were like, what does the shooter look like? What do we know about this guy? Was he black? Was he white? Hispanic? What do we know about this guy? What does he look like? And then news came back that the shooter was a woman. Yeah. And the conversation totally changed. Oh yeah. Everyone was like, oh, did she get him? I mean, clearly he had it coming, but did she get him? The yoga ladies were on board. They were like, we will finish the job, just whipping around their mats. The real estate agents were using it as marketing. They're like, the kind of street where a woman's in charge. Even the families were like, you can stand up for yourself like that woman did. She was a hero. And the only thing they cared about how the woman shooter looked was if she looked satisfied. And then gossip in the neighborhood circulated again, and news came back that the woman shooter was a hired gun. She was hired to do the job. I know! That has got to be something that you get paid for over Venmo, right?
We definitely have generational differences, that's for sure. I love cash. I love cash. I always have cash on me, and I have cash hidden all over the house. And he doesn't get it. What's with the cash? I go, you gotta have cash. Why? In case the Nazis come. He says, what do you need cash for the Nazis? I said, you can't Venmo the guard. What are you gonna Apple Pay the guy? Was that SS Schultz at thirdreich.gov? With an open, closed gate emoji? You gotta have cash.
Now, we just celebrated Juneteenth. It's a national holiday. It's on the calendar now, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful situation. Now, if you don't know what it means it's the emancipation of the last Black American slaves. Yeah. But one IKEA store, they wanted to celebrate too. This is a true story. Look it up when you leave. On Juneteenth, they served chicken and watermelon. I was just like y'all, I was mad. I got offended, Because when I got there, they were out of watermelon. I was like, this is watermelon.
You might get hit by a bus tomorrow. It's one of my favorite excuses for doing anything, because it excuses anything. Because it's like, could get hit by a bus tomorrow. Why not? I can do whatever I want because I could get hit by a bus tomorrow. But what I find weird about that saying is I don't know why it's always a bus. Like the saying is a bus, right? You could get hit by a bus tomorrow. I don't know why that is, because, you know, a car would kill you, a train would kill you, but the saying is, and always has been, a bus. Why? Is there some rogue bus driver out there just hooning around, mowing down people who aren't living in the moment? And it only works in a city as well. Like, if you live in a little country town, you can't be like, what are you doing that for, Dave? Like, well, could get hit by a bus tomorrow. No, you couldn't. It's not here till next Wednesday.
This is what's going to happen, okay? We're just telling jokes. They're just jokes. Just jokes, okay? It's just comedy. Comedy. Look, the word's right there. Comedy, okay? Just let's all remember that. No one's allowed to get offended. A lot of people are getting offended very easily these days. And then everyone's just worried about saying the wrong thing. And I know that you are, because you do the same thing that I do. If you're driving along in your car and you've got passengers in your car and you answer a phone call and it goes on speakerphone, the first thing you say is, just letting you know that you're on speaker and there's other people in the car. You may as well say, don't talk about the we usually talk about. There's other people here. They won't get our humour, they'll judge us. Everyone's terrified of offending. You can't offend Australians, you can't. You tried. You tried with Outback Steakhouse, you tried. You, America, how dare you? How dare you? Just a fabrication franchise throughout your entire country. That's a complete mockery of my whole culture. And you guys are totally fine with that, are you totally fine? What the f*** is a bloomin' onion? I've never heard of that in my life. It's a staple dish in this establishment. You all know it. It's a deep fried onion the size of a football. It's what they eat. It's what they eat down under, you know? We don't call it down under either, by the way. We're there. We're there. We don't call you up over or whatever you are.
I drive a 2007 Toyota Prius, charcoal gray, nondescript. But now that Uber and Lyft exist, people just get into my car routinely. Just recently, this young woman gets in my car, announces, "We're going to Brooklyn." Starts waving her girlfriends over. I'm like, whoa, we're not going to Brooklyn. She's like, "Excuse me?" I'm like, "I'm not a cab driver." She's like, "What?" I'm like, "This is not a cab. I'm a person who has a car and drives himself places he needs to go." And then she was horrified when she realized that she ran out, traumatized, into the embrace of her friends, as if I had done something wrong. I was like, "You broke into my car." And she was so sure of herself that I was like, maybe I do work for Uber. Is this how they hire you? Someone just gets in and is like, "All right, where in Brooklyn? Where do you..." I just want to get a good review.
I also don't trust companies that much. These companies that have very strong political stances, it's all for money. It doesn't matter what they're fighting for or trying to rep, it's always for money. I was at a store recently and I picked up a bag of coffee in the coffee section. It has a sticker on it, and the sticker said 10% of the proceeds for this coffee go to the LGBTQ fund to save the whales of the Atlantic. Said all that in one sticker. What's the target demo for that? You know what I mean? There's nothing a little more broad that we could be support. I support all those things for sure, all of them. The whales, the letters, all of the things. I support the letters, all of the letters. I think we need more letters, honestly. Put some more in the put a plus. There's a plus. Maybe throw a hieroglyph in there, or a parentheses, equal sign, multiplication. We will PEMDAS our way to equality. Okay. But then, like 2 rows over, I saw another bag of coffee and had a sticker on that one that said 10% of the proceeds for this brand go to American-made bullets in Kentucky. And I was just like, yo, can I just... All I want is a brand of coffee that guarantees for every cup I drink, 10% of my insides will come shooting out of my ass. That's all I want. Shooting. You're getting assaulted tonight, sir. You can take it. Hell yeah. Brother. You look like you greet people with brother. Yeah. Yeah. I do think if aliens landed, I would be a little bit nervous about how they would judge us, okay? Specifically based on where they land, you know? Like if they land in Portland versus Texas, you know what I mean? Give them 2 very different opinions about America. First off, they probably wouldn't land because would you interrupt the most insane movie you've ever seen? You know? Right before the whole explosion happens? No. If aliens landed in Portland, you can imagine somebody coming up to them being like, hi, welcome, come on in. Welcome. We have an open ozone policy, yes. Come on in, sir. Ma'am, what are your pronouns? Yeah, that makes sense. Welcome. Come in. Yeah, you need a place to stay? We suggest the streets of San Francisco. Here's $800 a month and make sure you vote. But if they land in Texas, dude, imagine them running into this guy. Walking up to him like, hey, you alien, you legal? Uh-huh. What does that ship run on? Gravity?
I also have a 14-year-old daughter, and I gave her a chore list with 3 words on it, and she goes, where's your chore list? You ever had a kid say something to you that then they're serious, but then you almost ruin it because you laugh? That's what I was like, oh, God, what? And I just go, what did you say? And she goes, where's your... She slowed it down, like I actually didn't hear her, you know? So I said, you know everything that happens in this house to make this home operate? Subtract the 3 things I asked you to do, and that is my chore list. Remember when you woke up in a bed, warm and not hungry? Fucking check. I did that. So my chore list also has 3 words on it, and it says, keep her alive. And it expires in 4 years, so focus. She's 14 now. When she was 12, I started listening to podcasts about periods. And I know that seems creepy. I'm positive I'm on a list somewhere. But I never wanted to be the dad that had to send her to her mom to ask her all those questions. I don't want you to know, like, that's a question for your mom. You know where to find me if you want to play catch. I mean, it's like ridiculous, right?
So these days, for me, it's Delta. Mostly it's because when I fly there, they call me a sky priority. And I like the sound of that. At first, it's too much. You're like, sky priority? Please, I'm a regular citizen like everyone else. 1 man, 1 vote. I never asked for anything more. Please, my father was a sky priority. But then they keep repeating it. They massage your ego with it, with little perks. Oh, right this way, sky priority. A slightly shorter line. And then you find yourself agreeing with it, like, well, yes, of course. There's a certain ring to it after all. Sky priority. There's nothing wrong with that. My mother always said we were destined for greatness. Sky priority. I think I deserve a separately stanchioned entrance once in a while. Excuse me, are you staring at me? I'm going to move my bag over here. You can look in your own direction. I'm a sky priority, thank you. Well, it means that I'm a priority of these damn skies. All the airlines, they have little categories that they have to compliment you. Make you feel special because you paid too much money or you got lucky and you're in exit row or something. They have these frequent flyer programs. They've been doing these since the 1980s. And it used to start out with just gold. That was the that was what it all was 40 years ago. Congratulations, you're one of our gold members. But they had to pile on more to sound more special than that over the years. So at this point, gold status is the lowest category on any air. Gold is the worst. When they board the flight, they're like, we now welcome gold. Boo. Gold will board last in shame. Gold will be stuffed into the fuselage along with the luggage. Now they have all these categories that are outrank gold, and it's when you board the flight, it's just a parade of precious metals and gemstones. To get on the flight, when they board, they're like, we now prepare to welcome aboard all members of the elite Sapphire Squadron. All the rest of you will bow your heads. Contemplate the sacrifice of the Sapphire Squadron. And you will kneel! Respect and deference as the Sapphire Squadron. The jetway is yours. Oh, what's this? The sacred horn of the sky? What a rare and lucky day. That means that we have someone that outranks even the Sapphire Squadron. The Sapphire Squadron must yield. Yes, yield, I say. For today we welcome aboard a member of the Hermetic Order of the Platinum Chalice. Whatever it is, there's one guy. He's like, well, yes, I'm Platinum Chalice. I'm wearing my epaulets to prove it. I flew 50,000 miles yesterday. Here's the one extra bag that entitles me to excuse me. I'm a member of the Platinum Chalice. I am a member of the Sapphire Squadron, and I suggest you tread lightly. I am also beloved of this airline. Oh, the Sapphire Squadron, I've heard of you. Out of my way, dog! You will pay for this insolence once the One World Alliance hears of it. That's what's happening on Delta Airlines. That's what's happening in the shadow realm. Get into it. Open your eyes. Open your third eyes.
Saddest song in the world is Margaritaville by Jimmy Buffett. But not Margaritaville as it was written. You got to think about what Margaritaville is now. Because now Margaritaville isn't a fictional location where some made up, relaxed dude like, I guess I screwed things up, whatever, que sera. Ooh, thatched roofed huts, white sand beach, I'll get over it. No. Margaritaville now that you know it's a real brick and mortar restaurant that sits in the parking lots of shopping malls throughout the country. If you listen to the lyrics of that song, but that's the setting, that's the darkest shit you've ever heard in your life. Not some fictional island that's in the Caribbean. How do we get to it? Stolen jet boat? Maybe one of them airplanes that has hot dog buns instead of wheels, so it can cruise right up onto the beach. No, Margaritaville number 218, St. Paul, Minnesota. Let's say early February. It's the tail end of a lunch rush. It's a community college dropout behind the bar just wiping off laminate menus. And there's a man sitting at the bar by himself, openly weeping into a basket of coconut shrimp. Some people say that's a woman to blame. But I know. This is my own damn fault. Hey, Terry, you want to get your together? There's families in here right now, bud. I get that you're a bit broken up, but we can't be like this. My assistant manager's here, and you're looking real overserved right now, all right? I can box this up, and you could eat it in your van, but I can't have this. That's a Pee-wee soccer team in the back room, all right? Let's get it together, okay? Can I get you anything else? I'm just looking for my lost shaker of salt. There's one on every table. What the f*** does that even mean, man? Why are you wearing up flip-flops? It's freezing outside. So Payless shoes across the parking lot. I'll give you the money for boots. That joke will be even better when I learn more lyrics to Margaritaville.
I'm getting tired of the way companies advertise to women. There's this thing called femertizing, where they put a feminist lean to commercials to sell more stuff. And it works sometimes. But the way they're doing it now keeps getting weirder and weirder and farther away from the product. Because they want to tug at our, feminist heartstrings. So they're essentially like, you enjoy being girl, right? And you like that girls were able to girl before you, girl? And you want girls to be able to girl after you, girl? Then buy Friskies. What? The cat food? Was this like a joke the whole time?
I do like how when you go into a Starbucks, everybody's working on their dreams, but when you walk into a Dunkin' Donuts, no one's doing anything in there. Have you seen anybody work on anything in a Dunkin' Donuts before? No. They're all sleeping. Like, is this a heroin den? What is this? I was like, you guys should become a bus station. This is a shithole in here. So depressing. I saw a guy walk into a job interview with a Frappuccino once. I'm like, good luck, buddy. What a great way to tell your employer that you're responsible, like starting your day off with a milkshake. Like, okay. It had extra drizzle on it. Just to, hit it home. I was like, that's not the appropriate beverage to bring into a job interview. I feel like you should come in with a mug with coffee in it. Like, what a great way to project that you work there already. Like, oh, did you guys call? It has CEO on the mug. They're like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? You're like, it says it on the mug. You just have to project. But I'm turning 42 soon. I'm bummed about that. It's great. I'm glad you guys didn't clap. A lot of people do. It's weird. People sometimes clap when you tell them that you're in your 40s, like you've been serving your country. You're like, okay, yeah, I'll take it. That sounds great.
But I've been trying to stay younger, so I've just been overdrafting my bank account a whole bunch. God, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, you know? It's so good. But now I'm at that age, though, where I have finally have accepted my body, and then my body's like, I think we're gonna go in another direction. I'm like, oh, can we talk about this? I only now just got used to the pooch. And it's like, yeah, but now we're gonna add hair to places, so I can't wait to get used to that. I think if I just let myself go, I could just naturally turn into a man, which I'm fine with because I kind of need the money right now. I'm like, yes, I need a raise.
It was so much easier to make friends when you're a kid, right? I remember when I was 6, Craig moved in next door, he was 6. We were both just like, oh, age and proximity. That's all we need, best friends for life. Some guy my age moves in next door to me now. I'm like, if this guy talks to me, I will be furious. It's so easy to hang out when you're a kid. You just invite him over to play. You don't even have to be specific. He always comes over, we always have a great time, and we're always mad to be called for dinner. Do you remember liking life that much? That you're annoyed about dinner? Always asking to be excused. Please, can I go back to my life? How much eating do we have to do in this house? Kids hate meals and bedtime. That's all I have now. Right? I call those the big two. And if I ever do hang out with another male friend now, it's never playful anymore. It's always like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. You want to get together and eat? We could like talk and eat. Best case scenario, there's a big game on TV. We don't even have to speak. We can just watch other men playing. They're playing well. I love that. Don't you love it when our favorite men play well? They always play better when they play together, huh? That play was unbelievable. Let's touch hands. That was so nice. Maybe after this we could play. Yeah, no, you're right. We ate a lot. Sleep would be incredible. You're always right. You're my best friend. I'll see you again in 2 years. Sometimes I don't think we give kids enough credit for how traumatic grade school is. Remember 6th grade, phys ed, run a 7-minute mile in street clothes? And then just straight to math. Shouldn't have worn hiking boots today. Smells like a locker room in here. You kids ready to learn about parabolas? My heart rate is parabolic. Recess is right after lunch because that's how digestion works. Yeah. Yeah, now that you've had spaghetti with milk. Seems like a good time to go run around in a parking lot. They all puked again. Good thing we have our one janitor. I think if I'd live one day on a grade school schedule, it would be the worst day of my adult life. Starting the day at 6 a.m., standing on a street corner in the rain, waiting on a bus with no seatbelts or schedule. Jostles you to homeroom. That's your coffee, is the jostle. Homeroom, you're not allowed to speak, no phones, no music, no gum. Do I have any human rights? No speaking. Now pledge your loyalty to your country. Go on, pledge how much you love America. I'm 7. And admit that there's a God. Admit that there's one God. Go ahead. My parents are agnostic. Well, I won't tell them. Go ahead, admit that there's one God, and you can say it quiet. All right, you're free to go to first period U.S. history as taught by the JV football coach. Enjoy his unique perspective. A lot of hot takes on the Constitution. A lot of gun stuff in the pop quiz. Old Coach Hines. Coach Hines, he would time you for getting water. Kids stand in line and he would go 1, 2, 3, time. That's all the water you get as a child. Is a fast 3 seconds. I think kids are going through school dehydrated. If he liked you, he'd go 1, 2, 3, and time. That's if he liked you. Yeah. I wish I had spent more time learning. I wish I had learned more in science class, because now I really like the science headlines. I saw that James Webb Telescope came out, and like Hubble Telescope is old news now, you know? Hubble Telescope's a piece of crap compared to James Webb. And as soon as they came out with the first images, there was a headline that said, "Universe, bigger than previously thought." And I feel like we could have seen that coming. I'll be more impressed when there's a new telescope and they're like, "We overshot it." It's pretty reasonably sized. We feel bad about our last estimates. I like the science studies because I feel like half of scientists are trying to save the world with climate change, cure cancer, and the other half of scientists are like, I wonder if orangutans can play pickleball. No, they can't. How about bonobos? No. They're kind of playing soccer, though. Let's publish it. But it always made me wonder about primatologists, monkey scientists, like smartest in your class, high school, smartest in college, best in your PhD program, and then the rest of your career, you're like, bongo, no biting. Don't you dare pull the fire alarm, Bubbles. No Bubbles. No, Bubbles. I love you too. I love you too, Bubbles. Apparently they struggled to figure out why depression evolved in humans, because it just didn't make sense to them. And then they figured it out. A study shows that sad people are better at predicting future outcomes. So if you feel bad, you're correct. Mm-hmm. You sure are. But don't let that make you feel good, because happy people delusional about the future. So if you're happy and that makes you feel bad, good, you just got a little smarter. I guarantee it was a depressed person that was the first person to figure out to play dead for a bear. All his optimistic friends are climbing trees. We can make it. He's like, I'm just gonna let him take me. It's fine. It's fine, guys. I'll take this one for the team. Go ahead, bear. Just sniffs at him and goes and kills all his friends. And depression passes on to the next generation. Like, how'd you think to play dead for a bear? I was just being myself. You know?